Winter and cold weather. Two things I don't like. A big reason why I started to live in my car was to give me the flexibility to move to Florida. However, I did have to spend 2 winters in New Jersey living in my car. And there were a few nights where it was 0 below Fahrenheit. So, I understand the fear, the apprehension, and the practical and actual experience on dealing with extreme cold climate while living a primitive life in your car. And if I had to give 3 things that will help you if you need to or have to or want to live in your car in a cold weather climate, and having these things will help you get through the winter. The number one thing you need living in your car in cold weather climate in the winter is the properly rated sleeping bag. I fought this for a while. I thought sleeping bags were gimmicks, and I learned that they're not. They actually work. But you have to get the properly rated one. The good news is they can be found at Walmart. You don't need to go to a specialty sports store. You don't need to order them online. Certainly you could. But in Walmart, I found a sleeping bag that was rated for 20 degrees Fahrenheit. Now, there were some nights it got below 20 degrees Fahrenheit, but that was the one they had at that time. That was the lowest temperature degree one they had. And even if it gets below that temperature, with extra clothing and blankets, you'd still be fine. So I would say go to your Walmart and find the lowest rated temperature sleeping bag they have. Whether that's 20 degrees Fahrenheit, 25 degrees Fahrenheit. The last time I was in Walmart, I think they may have had a 10 degrees Fahrenheit sleeping bag. You'll have to check. But that's number one, the properly rated sleeping bag. Number 2. The number 2 thing you need is something that works with the sleeping bag. Layers of clothes. Several layers of clothing, but with the bottom layer, the layer closest to your skin, being compression leggings, compression like thermal tops. Under Armour sells them. There's other offshoot brands that you can buy on eBay or online. That's something that I couldn't really find in Walmart. I had to buy online. When I was living in New Jersey, I did a lot of walking outside in the winter. And so I had all that gear, that cold weather like sport gear, those compression leggings and the compression tops that work as a base layer to your clothing. And then you put a sweater, a couple sweaters, a hoodie. You're going to need probably about 3 or 4 layers in the coldest of the winter. In addition to that, you're going to need a couple pair of thermal socks, at least 2 to 3 pair. And like a ski mask or like a thermal head wrap that goes around your entire skull and onto your face, and then you put like a skull cap on top of that. So the number 2 thing you need is the layers of clothes with the thermal set as your base layer, thermal socks, and a total head wrap with a skull cap on top like this. That combined with a sleeping bag will now get you through the hardest part of winter, okay, with regards to dealing with the extreme climate, okay. The number 3 thing that you need living in your car in the winter is awareness of going from your car into a building, going out of the building and into your car. What does that mean? Well, let's say you sleep in your car in the winter okay, and it's 15 degrees Fahrenheit, okay? So you got your sleeping blanket, you got your sleeping bag, you got your layers of clothes. And let's say you have to go into the office to work. Let's say you're going to a store to shop. And so now when you get out of your car and you go into that store, a lot of people don't keep all their layers of clothes on because it's a lot, okay? And it's going to be warm in the store or warm in the office because they have heat. So one mistake you can make is taking off your layers before you get into the building, okay? Because now you have to go through an extra step. You have to leave. This is the awareness you need. You need to leave your layers of clothes on. Go into the building for your job or go into the building for the store to go shop around. But then you would either need to keep those clothes on, those layers of clothes while you were shopping. Or if you were going to work, you'd have to go then into the bathroom, take those layers off, go down to one layer, and then be aware that when you go back in your car, you have to layer up before you go back in your car. See, it's the entry and exit of the car where the cold weather penetrates your bubble that you build up in your car. And you may not wear your scarf, you may not wear all 3 layers. You may go to the gym and not be aware and only wear a hoodie and only wear a jacket. See, the multiple layers protect you not just in the car, but in the exit and entry of the car, getting in and out of buildings, because you're going to go from temperature-controlled buildings to freezing outside. Your car is going to be warm because you got your body heat, you got your sleeping bag, you got your layers. But if you take your layers off in the car, you're going to get very cold going outside the car, even if you just have like 1 or 2 layers, and you're going to catch a cold. And definitely when you go into the gym to take a shower, because if you're a nomad living in your car, you still have to do that. When you take a shower in the winter in the gym and you get out of the gym and you come into your car, many people are thinking, or they're not aware that you need to put all your layers of clothes on in the gym or in the office or wherever you're at before you get into your car. Because once you get into your car, adding all those layers and adding the base layer, the most important, the thermal set, is almost impossible. Because then you got almost stripped naked. And most cars are not big enough to do all that. So, and you're gonna be cold. You're gonna be naked in your car. So, recap: number 1, sleeping bag. Number 2, layers of clothes with compression clothes on the bottom. Number 3, the entry and exit of your car. You have to remember to keep your layers on and keep your put your layers on if you were in the gym before you come back into your car. Because, there's only so much moving around you can do in your car. And look, it's going to be tough. There may be some extreme nights that you may need to get a hotel. I really avoided that. I did catch a cold, though, one year. But I caught the cold because I didn't use number 3, awareness of going in and out of a building without all my layers of clothes on. That's why, that sounds like one that doesn't matter. But most people are going to have their sleeping bag. Most people are going to have layers of clothes, but you're going to get lazy going from your car to a building, from a building to your car, and you're not going to wear all your layers, and that's when you get sick, because that's when that cold air gets in your lungs, and that's when it's a disaster. So hopefully this video helped. If it did, click that thumbs up, share the video, check out my playlist, thousands of free videos talking about living in your car and a variety of other topics. Not easy, can be done. Hopefully you have a goal on why you're living in your car, and you can do it, though. That's the good news. Remember that, to get to where you want to get in life, sometimes you got to be intense, and you got to go through some pain. But try to make it as enjoyable as possible, as peaceful as possible, okay? And shout out to everyone out there doing what they have to do to get where they want to get, and I hope it gets better and easier for you, and I hope that you get through the winter, if that's what you want to do or need to do, okay? And I hope that if you don't want to, that you look at resources. If you're very poor or you have issues, I would recommend go see a social worker. A social worker will help you navigate the system and help you get assistance, especially in the cold weather climates. There's a lot of immediate assistance they may be able to help you with. It may not be ideal, but it may help you if you don't want to be in the situation of living in your car. So, all right. Thank you for watching. I'll see you next video.